Hi, this week I watched The Zone of Interest, the new film from Jonathan Glazer, loosely adapted from Martin Amis's novel. It's a loose retelling of the true story of Rudolf Höss, who every day during the 1940s would say goodbye to his family, play with his children, talk to his wife, be a very loving husband and father and devoted career man. He would wave goodbye to them, walk out of his front gate, and across the road into his place of work, where he was the commandant of Auschwitz death camp. The film follows his day to day life, along with that of his wife, as they go through the standard business at home of chores, dealing with servants, hosting garden parties, and so forth, while in the background is the ever present death camp. We are never allowed to forget what is happening there. We never see inside the camp, but we hear it constantly, the sounds of indefinable machinery, human cries, and occasional retorts that are very obviously gunshots. They are visited at some point by members of the family. The wife's mother comes to visit, and at one point during walking through the garden, she idly wonders whether or not her old boss, for whom she used to clean, is over on the other side of the wall. The following morning, she's gone, having been disturbed in the night by the sight of flames coming from the chimneys, leaving a note which her daughter reads and in disgust immediately throws into the house furnace. Her husband eventually gets a promotion and is sent off to be the senior inspector for all death camps across the German Reich. And she's furious, not because he's been promoted, but because this means that it will bring an end to their beautiful pastoral life of living out in the countryside with the good air and the open space so that their children can run and grow and be healthy. At no point does she ever give any concern for the people being murdered in their thousands, only feet away from her bed. Um, it was pointed out to me that this is very typical for the behaviour of army wives, very concerned with social standing, very concerned with their um, creature comforts while their husbands go off and do military things. I found the film to be unnerving. It's taken me quite a while. I saw it almost a week ago, and it's taken me a while to record this because I felt it needed time to sit and time for me to process subconsciously. It's filmed in an extremely objective way, although it's a British production, although made partly with Polish cooperation. It's shot in German. The two lead actors, Christian Friedel and Sandra Hüller, are acting in their native language. Um, and it's inviting you to identify with these people, to avoid seeing them simply as evil, as monsters, the way that facile history and tabloid reporting would have you believe. It's not as simple as that. Yes, they are perpetrating horrific, monstrous, evil deeds, but that does not inherently make them evil, monstrous people. That's simply a label you can put on to distance themselves from anyone who might be reading that. What's important to think about is how close are they to who you are? How complicit are you to any genocides that are happening in the world today, for example? And I felt that it was a very timely film by virtue of historical accident. It ties in rather neatly with what's going on in Gaza, um, with all that's going on over there. How complicit is the average person to turning a blind eye to it, or regarding the Gazans merely as subhuman waste, as the Hearst family do towards the Jews? We're shown that they're very loving and affectionate to their children, very indulgent almost. And the first scene takes place on Hearst's birthday, where before he leaves for work, he's presented with his big present, a new canoe, which he's delighted with. And then he gets on his horse that's being held by a member of the Sonderkommando and goes to supervise mechanized slaughter. How close you're able to identify, I think, is why the film has been so unnerving for so many people, because it's asking you a very difficult question. Um, I think it's a superb film. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time because um, Glazer's previous film, Under the Skin, released 10 years ago, was my favourite film of that decade. And this has been a very long time becoming. It's another very similarly stylistic film. It has an objective viewpoint. It doesn't identify directly with its lead character or allow you access into their minds. Um, and as a result, it forces the viewer to project themselves in order to fill that emotional space. I found it a fascinating film, very thoughtful and intelligent, and very demanding of the audience, but in a way that I think is very necessary and very timely. I'm delighted that it's been the critical success that it has been. It hasn't been a major commercial success, although frankly that isn't surprising given the subject matter. I'm hopeful that it will perform very well during the awards season and will cement Jonathan Glazer's position as one of our foremost filmmakers.